Your time's up, I done touched down. I'm high stepping for the touchdown. I stay repping for the slums where the young bucks started loaded up just to bust rounds.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. I am back after a hiatus, but I had to be here because this is the final episode of the season. We are finally wrapping up season 3. Of course, we got started during training camp last year, and what a long year it's been. For me, anyway. I don't know. I mean, as a Jaguars fan, it's been a very long year. But I'm going to start off by introducing our commentators for this evening. Representing the Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
What up, Lovey Smith? Let's go.
Representing the Colts, we have Harish Nookala.
You know what? I took a long look at the mirror, and it's time to hold some motherfuckers accountable.
Ooh, coming in hot. I like it. Representing the Jaguars, we have Matthew Grieve.
2 years in a row, number one. The only team in the division that can say that.
It's the wrong number one, Matt. It's the wrong number one. That's not the one. That's not the one you want.
Oh.
But I guess if you're going to do it really bad. You know, don't be the Colts. And anyways, moving on. Don't look at me like that, Harish.
I'm so lost.
We still got the number 1 pick and still finished out the season by beating the Colts. Come on now. That's like gold. Anyways.
You know, you beat our former quarterback, Carson Wentz.
Well, you know, I try to say that early in the season. Moving on, representing the Titans, we have the one and only troll of the group, the Michael Tesmer, they would say, of the Titans, RJ Ellison.
Hey, one and only. Everybody's favorite Titans fan, you know.
Hey, since you know we finally got RJ on here, I had to bring a special guest. You know, they go out all the time.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going?
Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson from the You Don't Know Jack podcast. How are you?
Happening? I am fantastic. How is everybody doing on this fine Monday?
Listen, I'm just gonna like full disclosure. I didn't even know that this is happening. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the words of a wise philosopher, well, hello, motherfucker.
And I was stoked, man. I thought Josh Senior was gonna be here, man. I was ready to talk to him too. We here now. Okay.
I've been waiting for this. This is amazing.
RJ, since it's your first time on the show, I know the Colts, the Texans, and the Jaguars all wanted to get you a gift for your first time. So I got you this right here. Some Duke mayonnaise. I hope you don't mind, though, because it's light. So it's, you know, kind of like...
Damn, going fat, too.
Hey, I give you my address. You can send it to me.
Oh no, it's actually expired. It is.
I can't even eat the mayonnaise. Come on.
Hey, listen.
It expired November of
You say expired, Titans fans say experienced. So
right.
they ain't worried about that at all.
This is some experienced mayonnaise right
It's
here.
really good. I think the light version describes Titans the best because they love to celebrate mediocrity. So mayonnaise is like mediocre mayonnaise, you know?
Yeah.
And expires like their playoff run.
Oh, bro. Don't get me started, man.
But yeah, make sure you give me your address. I'll make sure I ship this off to you when we get done. Expired or not, you know what I mean? It's a trophy. I know how you guys like your mayonnaise.
I feel like I earned that. You know, I earned it. There's a lot of trash talk I had to say. You know, a lot of time, a lot of L's, a lot of W's. You know?
That is true.
I just have to because I'm only on here for a short time. I just wanted to make sure I let myself be known. But
hey, say what you got to say.
I think today marks the 1 year anniversary of y'all comparing Ryan Tannehill to Pat Mahomes and saying he's elite. So, exactly what? Like, I mean, exactly. Like, how are we now? Because I know, like, a year ago was different. You know, I mean,
ooh, that's heavy.
We're 4 picks against the Texans into Ryan Tannehill now, so it's just like, is he still elite, or are we taking the E off the beginning and saying he's light, like that expired mayo that Sam got?
He's light. He's definitely light. I think Titans fans are finally have hit the reality. We finally seeing what you guys are saying about him now. You know, we finally.
Listen, you know, RJ, before you go on, don't let these fools talk smack to you because they all believed in Carson Wentz.
Oh, no, there's a difference. Here's the thing. Hold on.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get my turn. I'm gonna just let them get what they gotta say out, and I'm gonna go in. You know, I'm gonna let them talk.
So here's the thing: when you do things for short amounts of time, it's called a one-off, right? So we were a one-off, and thinking Carson Wentz was good enough to help us get to the playoffs, right? But the Titans fans, because they did it for multiple years, they showed what we call the trend. So they were in a trend of delusional. We were just a one-off in the divisional world.
I like that. That's a tech term too. I like the trend. And yes, I see that.
Management terms.
Y'all was very hype on Phillip Rivers too, man. I'm trying to make it seem like it was just
Phillip Rivers did really well. and we wanted him back too.
And Harish wanted Sam Darnold.
I did want Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you did want Sam Darnold. I remember that.
Yeah.
I would still take Sam Darnold over Carson Wentz.
And I promise this is parting thought. I promise this is parting thought. But remember, RJ, when we had that talk about whether or not Henry meant more to Tannehill or Tannehill meant more to Henry?
Oh yeah.
I think we finally have our answer.
Can we just go ahead and get that, and then I'm going to roll up out of here. So exactly who is more important in that relationship? And
Derrick Henry.
All right, people. Well, you know what? It's been fantastic. Great to see you all. Okay.
Hey, man, I'm gonna see you in the chat. Don't worry.
You already know.
I like talking smack with him. You and Harris and John Senior are all my favorites, man. And my favorite Colts fans.
Oh, well, that's perfect. You just named. Make sure if those are your favorite Colts fans, make sure you turn into the You Don't Know Jack podcast where you can find all of those people.
Oh, yeah. I will say one for the Colts fans that try to say that the Titan fans only think about the Colts. I watched one of you guys' podcast. I think it was like whenever you guys got those 7 Pro Bowlers, that was going to take y'all to the Super Bowl. As soon as I got on there, all I heard was the Titan this, Titan that, Titan. I was like, is this show even about the Colts? Like,
Oh wow!
I mean,
I can assure you that wasn't us. And on that note,
it was definitely you and Josh Senior, because I was like, I want to record this to put up. Nah. Yeah, it was you and Josh. They was like Kevin Byard. He made it. Okay, what about Jeffrey Simmons? Nope. Y'all going through every one of them.
Okay, you know what? That sounds vaguely familiar. Vaguely. All right, vaguely. I'll give that to you though. That's fair. But all right, I'm gonna roll up out of here. You guys have a great podcast. It's been great. RJ, thank you for admitting everything I've been telling you all along. You are
Hi, hypocrite.
I love you too, Sam. Oh, by the way, guys, I was going to come on tonight, but I couldn't. So Sam wasn't going to use me as her token black friend because of the Moncrief comments. All right, y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all
later. Always calling me out. Gosh, well, that was quite a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting to see Mr. Chris Jackson on here. Either. I'm always enjoy Chris Jackson, even if he likes to throw me under the bus and make little joking comments that if somebody tuned in, they might insinuate I was racist. But this is our Super Bowl recap episode. I don't know what else to say besides the fact that Jalen Ramsey, yet another Jaguar, has a ring, and Jaguars on the clock. Should we go ahead and wrap up this episode, or?
No, let's just say Jalen Ramsey got a ring despite how bad he was.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah. He got abused.
Despite the fact a rookie receiver who hasn't played in 365 days previous ran circles around him for 4 quarters.
I do think that one play, I'll let you comment after this, RJ, sorry. I think that one play where he was like, yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That was
they got away with that one.
Yeah, they got away with murder. That was bad.
Yeah, go ahead, RJ.
My thing is, we gotta give the Bengals credit because they literally called before the game that they were going to attack Jalen Ramsey. They definitely called it because I watched ESPN and they said they even had an interview saying that they were going to attack Jalen Ramsey. So I give them their props. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but
to be fair against Jalen, I mean, he did handle his own against everybody else. Jamar Chase made him look like he was garbage. Like he did good against everybody else, but when he went up against Chase, it wasn't even fair. It was.
I feel like T. Higgins got him a couple times, but he got away with the penalty on T. Higgins. Was that one that we saw where he got like a holding call? No.
I just like his entire attitude about the way he acted last night is what I don't miss about him. You know what I mean? Matt, if you want to comment on that since you're a Jaguars commentator.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Happy Day to you too.
No, so I'm a huge Florida State fan, so I was excited to see him come out of the draft to the Jaguars, right? But I knew like he had some flaws, and he still does, and it shows. I was, excited to see that, he got burnt a few times, but I guess he got his ring, whatever.
That's what I hate, though. God, I hate it.
Well, who deserved to be burnt more, him or Eli Apple? I did both got burnt big time.
I don't know. Eli Apple got it bad.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey might just getting burned by Jags fans. Everybody's dragging Eli Apple. I don't know if y'all saw.
Yeah.
No, I will say there's a lot
That's all they've been talking about.
There's a lot of Jags fans coming to Ramsey's
defense
side. Yeah, defense, because he I guess after he did that interview where he made the comments like about why he left. So like a lot of people are like, okay. And I the same, like I wasn't as angry after that, but it still doesn't make up for his behavior, And somebody I saw on Twitter last night, somebody made a comment like, oh, Jalen's back's about to be hurting again.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Well, I will say my favorite part of the entire Super Bowl, because I really was only rooting for Burrow because that would have been cool, and against Ramsey because let's be honest, was that halftime show.
Man.
Epic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Classy.
Top 5 all time, in my opinion. I don't care what
number 2
says.
Yeah, me
top
too. I'm with you.
Time.
Too.
I think it's the best one I've seen.
Second after Prince.
Yeah,
only because
second after Beyonce and the Beyonce.
Which time? Beyonce was on it like a million.
Was it 2000? I'd have to look it up, but no, the one before that.
But I think Prince singing "Purple Rain" in the rain. Come on now.
The only credit I give.
Is it better than Janet Jackson?
That was also top 5. The Janet Jackson. Yeah. That's probably number 3, honestly.
I don't know, but Michael Jackson was pretty good too.
Yeah, I don't think I remember that, Matt. We're not that ancient, so
I don't think I remember that.
You're older than I am, so I mean.
Oh, shut up.
Well,
shut up. Well, moving on. Were there any? I know there was a lot of talk about referees during the game. We literally hear this every single game that plays in the NFL. So, do you guys have any commentary about that before we move on?
I do want to call out, and I don't think it gets enough credit. The last throw Matt Stafford made, that was no look to Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah.
Does not get enough credit. And I will admit, when it happened, I did not, and it was on the last drive, a clutch moment. I did not realize it was a no-look pass. With the game on the line, to make that throw is phenomenal. And I thought it was an amazing throw.
Did Cooper Kupp deserve MVP?
100%.
Yeah. I did at first want to say Aaron Donald when I watched the game, but when I went back and rethought it, it's definitely Cooper Kupp.
Think about this. Cooper Kupp was the only wide receiver option they had. They doubled and triple teamed him, and he still had 9 receptions, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I thought he had 112.
Oh, did he break on? I think when I last saw
it, he did. It might.
It could have broke 100. It wouldn't surprise me. That is absolutely.
I don't think that's it. Hold on. Let me look up. Let me verify this. Keep going.
What?
But only before OBJ got hurt.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp was the reason why OBJ was looking so great because they were.
That's fact.
Well, OBJ was on the way to getting the MVP if he doesn't get hurt.
I felt bad for him.
That's because of Cooper Kupp, though. Am I right?
Sure. Yeah,
it is because of Cooper Kupp. He's getting the weaker coverages because of Cooper Kupp. They if anything, they're not letting Cooper Kupp get off.
Yeah, so 8 receptions, 92 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 92 yards.
Yeah, but still,
he had that last touchdown.
Still impressive.
That's to be the only wide receiver option and to put that up. 100% impressive.
Plus the whole postseason, he's been clutch in the fourth quarter. He's the reason why they won the whole playoffs. Every game.
You go back to the Tampa Bay game. He literally caught the pass that put him in the field goal range.
Yep.
But to go back to what you were saying about the refs, Sam, I see everybody saying, like y'all say, sports betting, blah, blah, blah. Look, yeah, there was a lot of penalties thrown in that last drive. But a lot of them were supposed to be called. And plus, in the first half, face mask against Jalen Ramsey wasn't called. The refs had nothing to do with it. It was.
I don't think the game was rigged. I thought that was really weird for
I don't think rigged. I don't think rigged is.
Rigged.
I don't think rigged is the appropriate term. But at this point, when we as fans are catching things that they're not calling, like I don't know if you bring in like sideline referees for both sides, because there's things that like they're not catching.
You know what I mean? Think it is.
And if you can't challenge offensive pass interferences and stuff like that, then maybe you need to have some sideline refs.
I honestly think what it is I think the refs are at a point and just and their time as the NFL and their importance in the NFL is if you don't really pay your refs an actual salary that matters, you're going to continue to have this problem.
What do they get paid?
It's not a lot. I just don't think they give a shit at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of NFL refs actually have full-time jobs.
That has to be their sole job. Like, pay them enough where they can focus on nothing but being a ref.
You can give each ref $1 million a year and be happy. Like the
NFL makes plenty.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
You could tear them off. Tier 1 is $1 million. Tier 2 is $750. Tier 3 is $500. Tier 4, whatever. You could tear them off, and then, but until the refs make a true salary to where they can just do this full time, it's not going to get better. It doesn't matter how many rules
you can hold them. You can hold them accountable then.
Yeah.
If you know. Because like Rudy said, this is not their main job. So, like, why give 110%, you know?
Yep.
I mean, no matter what, we should all give 110%. My boss doesn't pay me very well, but I give 110%. My boss is myself.
I was going to say, okay.
So, anyways, moving on. RJ, go ahead, man.
I say here on Sporting, I was looking up real quick on Sporting News. They reported that in 2019, officials made on average $201,000.
That's pretty.
Now
that's decent salary.
That's decent.
I'll take half of that and call a really good game. So
but
that's not a legitimate excuse, you know. Like $200,000, you should be calling a good game.
It's decent
for a part-time gig. For a part-time gig, that's their side hustle, you know.
Yeah, but I just feel like it just doesn't add up.
Yeah, I just feel like it would not hurt for them to have two sideline refs on each side, watching the sides at all times, because that seems to be where the problems come in, where the questionable calls get so if you have somebody that's watching the side on the sideline at each time, I think you could easily, I don't know. What do I know? I'm not Roger Goodell.
Or have, they have earpieces, have a third party in New York saying, hey, look, this is what.
Well, they do, and they still suck.
Right.
Isn't that why they have the NFL review party, and that's on the stupid broadcast? Well, I think that should have done.
Yeah, but the referees don't. They don't consult with them, because a lot of times those guys call it right, but the referees don't consult with them. This will maybe get like a headpiece or something where they can consult with them and get a third view that's looking all around instead of, like Sam said, where they missed it.
I mean, we saw it makes or breaks. Jaguars didn't go to the Super Bowl for it.
Oh,
the other thing the other thing I'll mention, even though Miles Jack was down, and I'm going to bring a
was not down.
Yeah, no, you're right. Was down. You're right.
Was not.
So and I'm going to go completely off the roads here, and y'all are going to laugh at me for this, but it's a review system that works. In the sport of cricket, right? If there is an official review, the person that's reviewing the play actually commentates what they're reviewing. So it tells you exactly what they're looking at every frame, so that hey, this is what you're looking at, this is what you're doing, and you can actually hear them communicating to the on-field umpire to say, this is what the call is, make this call.
And they're gonna
so they got
something
right,
like
that would be awesome.
At the end of the day, with the amount of people calling it fake or saying that sports betting is included, you're gonna kind of have to, I mean, people are betting on the NFL, so you're gonna have to do that, right? At some point, you're going to have to figure something out to make it more fair if it's getting that big.
Well, sports gambling is about to be legal in a bunch of states, so
yeah, they're going to have to
included fucking finally.
Y'all really think like this? All this gambling stuff really has that big of an impact on the
100%.
Money drives everything. Money drives all major decisions.
Especially if you look at spreads and things like that. I think it's not necessarily winners or losers. I think it's more about spreads and hitting the spread and not the spread, right? Like you see it a lot in basketball. I think I watched it in college the other day. This Duke player missed a dunk, and like the spread was like -6, and they only won by 5. He missed the dunk on purpose, like literally. Yeah. So it's like shit like that. No, I think it's a real thing, but I don't think it's as big as we make it. But we also have to do. I don't think the organizations or the leagues do enough to try to mitigate it as much as possible. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. You're never going to completely fix it, right? It's just too big of a thing. But I think you have to do enough to mitigate it, and I don't think any of the leagues do.
And make sure it's fair and not miss calls or whatever. I mean, that's
right.
Is what it is. Because if they have all that going on, and then somebody does something intentionally, especially in football, because football there's so many like strategy and things like that, you're going to be able to tell if somebody's like, "Oops," and drops the football behind them. Like,
that makes sense.
But anyway, moving on. Let's get into our teams. We know Super Bowl Rams are victorious. Anybody who's listening to this, I'm sure, already knows that by now. Congratulations to Matt Stafford. You guys thought I was going to say Jalen Ramsey. You thought. Actually, I saw a really funny meme. It was like Eminem in the halftime show, Matt Stafford at quarterback. This is the closest Detroit's going to get to a Super Bowl. And I was like,
yeah.
Before we do move on and some on the halftime show, did anybody else see like the list of demands the NFL asked these guys not to do, and they did them all?
Yes, and I loved every second.
Well, hold on, wait. What were the? I heard about Eminem, but then I also heard that wasn't true.
Snoop Dogg couldn't wear that flag in his back pocket.
Yeah,
what was it?
Snoop Dogg wasn't supposed to wear anything gang related.
He wasn't. He was wearing Rams colors, and it was a bandana like color or
Dr. Dre
pattern.
Dr.
Dre wasn't supposed to sing.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to sing. Still Dre.
Why?
Yeah, because they had police brutality in it, didn't it? It's something to do with police. They couldn't do songs that had any type of police brutality to.
But this is the thing that I feel. I don't know if like. So I heard about that before it happened, that the NFL had asked Eminem not to do it, and then he did it, and then the media took off. So the skeptic in me says the media does this crap on purpose, because they're also like, oh, all these old Republicans hated the halftime show. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that my dad probably didn't. He's not like a Snoop Dogg fan, But the whole taking a knee thing, he took a knee. Like, what are they going to say next time somebody gets on a knee and proposes? Like, oh man, look at them.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a reach at this point. Like they're trying to create a narrative. It's
did you also see Fox News tweeted out that every team?
Speaking of all Republicans.
Well, hold on. Every team stood up and they showed every team, and they showed, instead of the Bengals, they showed the Chiefs. Like they completely.
They were trying to say that they kneeled?
No, they said look at all the teams that stood up. Both teams stood up for the national anthem during entirely, but they showed the Chiefs instead of the Bengals. The Chiefs were in the Super Bowl last year. It was the Bengals. This year it was the Bengals.
Oh, was that who it was? Okay, thank you.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
No, I know. That's what I mean, though. It's like getting to a point where it's like, especially like our generation, like we didn't Like, when all the stuff was happening, I went off on that tangent after the George Floyd stuff at the beginning of one of our podcasts. Like, we pretty much all saw that and we're like, yeah, that was kind of jacked up. You know what I mean? So people are starting to get in the narrative like, yeah, we don't like it. Can we move on? Like, let's all love each other. So the whole Eminem kneeled. I'm like, you fucking okay?
Okay.
He kneeled.
He expressed his feelings. Something.
My favorite part was the local news. Go ahead.
No, the crazy part, he didn't even kneel for police brutality. He kneeled because they, at the time, Dr. Dre was playing
Tupac.
He was playing Tupac. He was playing what's the one song?
I Ain't Mad at You.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you. Yeah, and he took a knee just and you know what I'm saying, for Tupac.
Yeah, he pointed to the sky as well.
Like who's actually complaining about it outside of the media? I don't see the NFL make any comments. I don't see the teams and the players. Like it's just ridiculous.
They even came out. I was watching Undisputed this morning, and they were saying that Skip Bayless was saying that the NFL knew he was going to take a kneel, so there was really nothing wrong with anything Eminem did.
And the NFL said also they came out with a statement after because somebody was like they told him not to do it. They were like, no, we reviewed their thing multiple times. There was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was pretty sure they reviewed like day of or day before exactly what they were going to do. The one thing I did not know, and I was actually, I don't know if you guys know this or not, apparently the cost of the show is like $5 to $6 million and the NFL paid $1 million and Dre paid the rest. I did not know that.
That's cool.
I thought that was dope. And that stage was phenomenal. Like it was so badass.
Well, and a lot of people were commenting for those who, just to clarify, for those who were like, oh, why didn't they show any images of Tupac? So Dr. Dre is the one who produced or helped write most of his songs so he could play them, but he doesn't own his image copyright. So I just want to throw that out there. They couldn't show him.
There was
so then Eminem kneeled for him. And you know what? The local news shared the story and they said, allegedly because of the Colin Kaepernick, and then broke down the Colin Kaepernick thing for people that don't watch the NFL. But the point is, who cares what he did it for?
Yeah.
Because you guys are even saying allegedly. If he did it for Colin Kaepernick, if he did it for Tupac, if he did it for his mom's spaghetti, who gives a shit?
And maybe his mom makes a badass spaghetti, so he was trying to shout out to it,
I mean, I don't know, because in that song he talks about throwing it up on his sweater, so it's probably not that good. So that's why he's probably kneeling down to it.
Touché.
Rest in peace, mom's spaghetti. But
Sam, I'll go back to that one point that you were making about how the Republicans didn't really like rap. I've gone through years of watching Super Bowl halftimes where there were genres that I didn't like. They were playing the U2 on there. I'm like, I don't even listen to them. You didn't see me complaining about.
He said the
U2. Yeah, I don't listen to U2. I'm sorry.
They
going through what I had to go through.
Right. Or the years of torment that we had to go through as millennials, because the Janet Jackson thing, that was in 2004.
Yep.
My senior year, the Super Bowl was in Jacksonville, and we got Paul McCartney. That's what we got. We got Paul McCartney.
Wow.
Well,
so you know what? We were owed that.
So everyone's going to throw a fit. Look at the Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. I thought that was a phenomenal halftime show.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Everybody threw a fit about it because of their wardrobe.
But didn't freak out the year before when Adam Levine got naked. I mean, listen, this is the bottom line. No matter what, somebody's always going to have something to say about somebody.
Exactly.
And it's usually the old people.
The end of halftime, on a good note, did anybody else see the Bengals kicker stay out of the locker room at halftime to watch the halftime show?
I would have too.
I'm good. I'm going.
I had a feeling like the coach, like the players, are like, all right, coach, we know what to do. Go run this play. Can we go watch this halftime show now? For real, can we just go? I feel like he wasn't the only one.
Right.
A lot of these guys are our age, in their 30s and shit. So this is our generation of music. This is what we grew up on. So
I think the best part of all of it is
apparently Twitter. I heard that Jay-Z is over the music now for halftime shows, and if this is the first one by Jay-Z, this is actually
this is actually the third or fourth one. He's the one who got Jennifer Lopez and
I mean, he was there last night. So was Kanye.
Yeah. So
was Kid Cudi. So was Kid Cudi. He was beating up media members for mentioning his beef with Kanye.
Did y'all see Anderson .Paak? Do y'all know who Anderson .Paak is? Anderson .Paak. Yeah, he was at the show too. He was playing the drums.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yep.
Like, I think that was like the coolest part of it to me, not to keep dragging this on, but like, I love that Dr. Dre put on and produced that whole thing and brought in like real musicians.
Yeah.
I love that. Like
the live music aspect is just different. It gives you,
kiss.
Yeah. Perfect. Gives you like something like no other. It was a phenomenal halftime show.
And seeing $2 bill hanging out upside down singing in the club was great too.
I was confused, and then he started playing. I was like, "Oh,
dude, he literally has been trolling himself.
Yeah,
he's been trolling himself on Twitter.
And Mary J. Blige,
dude,
she looked good. She's still good, man.
Look, whoever says that that's sick music don't know music. I still jam out to Mary J. Blige to this day. Like,
man,
you better be tonight. It's Valentine's Day, homie.
Yeah, my mama, she loved Mary J. Blige growing up. She used to have, me riding in the car. She had all her CDs. She made me sit there and listen to it all the time. So it's good to hear that.
Now, there was one part, I don't know if anybody caught this, when she was singing No More Drama. She was getting super passionate, and she said something about "get that mask about my face."
I didn't even see that.
I was like, did anybody else hear that?
I didn't catch that.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
I did see somebody say something about it on Twitter, but I didn't hear
it. She was like, she got into the high part, I'm tired of all the drama. And then she's like, get that mask about my face. And I was like,
oh, yeah, no.
Did anybody hear it?
See that.
Did anybody hear it? I was like, yes. And then Kanye's going off on Hillary Clinton on Instagram that morning. I'm like, this is great. What a great day. Anyways.
Dude, how about Kendrick Lamar? He showed out too, man.
Dude, yeah.
I was like looking at him like he doesn't really fit with like these guys are from like even the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And, Kendrick Lamar is a little bit more modern, but man, he fit right in and he held his own, I think.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I just liked his lapel pins, like his whole outfit. I was like digging the swagger. I was like,
just drop another damn album, man. Come on.
Dude, like, man, I ain't gonna lie, Kendrick Lamar one of the most like gifted artists, man. But like, dude's work ethic is trash. I'm sorry, his work ethic is trash.
Well, maybe it's a sense of entitlement. Maybe I don't know if it's a work ethic thing, but I don't think he's just sitting there not making music. I just think maybe like wants control over when he releases it, or like I feel like he feels like one of those. It's almost like Kanye-ish, right? Where he could just like get bored tonight. Like, all right, I guess we're dropping the album tonight.
Or he could be like Dr. Dre, where he don't release nothing until it is perfect in his mind. Doesn't matter what it is.
I hope so. I hope that's what he's doing.
Dr. Dre is still working on the album from 20 years ago. So like,
it's kind of been the new thing because Nicki Minaj was saying the same thing the other day. Like, she's gonna come out with an album, but she won't tell anybody when. Remember back in the day, you would know like. Yeah. When an artist was coming out because it would be in the FYE album and you're like, oh my God, I got 9 months. Nowadays they'll literally drop it overnight because they like literally strategize how they're going to get like the most listens, because you don't want to drop it like Kanye and Drake are trying to not drop at the same time, or maybe they were, you know what I mean? So, I mean,
it's just the world we live in now. You control what you do now, right? You have more control over your work and when you drop it, how you drop it, why you drop it, where you drop it. It's just
these kids will never know the pain of waiting outside of FYE.
Oh
yeah. All I have to do is like, dang, I got to set my alarm tonight so I can wake up to listen to the new Kanye album.
The true pain was trying to open up those stupid CDs, man.
Oh yeah,
classic.
I remember.
You'll never have that feeling again.
If you couldn't get it at FYE, you had to go to like Walmart or something, right? And I remember having to go to Walmart to get DMX Know This X, and the whole album was barking and growling. The whole album was barking and growling because it was all edited.
Yeah, you had to go to Target, the unedited version.
Well, we didn't have a Target close by at that time, sir.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. What can I say? Sorry, we're not Kansas City,
Houston, okay? All right.
Oh, that's where you were at the time, my bad. World traveler.
See, this is why I strategically planned where I live. Target is literally down the street.
So if we ever go back to them now, but
If we ever go back to the CD era, I'm prepared.
Well, let's move on. Enough of the music. We're not a music podcast. I wish we were. That'd actually be great. But
Yeah.